Hey guys, so we're going to do conversion factors here. This will be a skill that'll be on this week's test, and I'm going to give it a little demonstration here. Your reading on page 18 talked about conversion factors. We're going to use them to make conversions. So non-metric, the metric system, we could just move the decimal. Here, when we have non-metric, like feet to pounds, miles to kilometers, things like that, we've got to use numbers that are a little weird, so we've got to use a different method. All right, so conversion factor, what it is, if you take 1 week divided by 7 days, or we could flip this around, 7 days divided by 1 week, that equals 1 because it's the same unit of time. So we're going to use this kind of conversion. We're going to put these up and down. This is called a conversion factor because it's the same amount of time. And week per days, we could go, as long as they're equivalent, we can use them. And I'll show you what I mean here. All right, so here's the question. How many weeks is 14 days? We put 14 days here, and then here's our conversion factor. We know that 1 week is equal to 7 days. So essentially what we're doing is we're multiplying by 1. But notice how the days, top and bottom, cancels. So we can arrange this conversion factor so that the label, right here, label, cancels, and we end up with 2 weeks. Another question here, how many weeks is 47 days? So here's the measurement we're given in the problem. There it is, 47 days. Here's our conversion factor again, 1 week over 7 days, so that the days cancels, top and bottom. If it's top and bottom, the label cancels. Now we top times down divide. So that's how the math works. I take 47 times 1 divided by 7. Of course, you can't, if you divide or multiply by 1, it doesn't really matter. So if you just want to take 47 divided by 7, that'll give you 6.7 weeks. All right, we'll practice. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's one thing you want to make sure is to do when you do these problems is you gotta put labels in there. So some students just start writing numbers in, and it doesn't make sense. Whenever you have a label like days, you got to write day in here. And then over here in the conversion factor here, you got to write down the labels. So here's the starting value in units like we did before. And those example problems, whatever you're given in the problem goes right here over 1. And then notice how the unit you want to cancel is highlighted here in blue. That goes on the bottom, and whatever the other one is in the conversion factor goes on top. Then we top times down divide. We can skip the ones if we want because timesing by 1 or dividing by 1 doesn't change it. Top times down divide, and then you get your answer with the unit, the label. The unit is the only unit left. That kind of tells us if we've done it correctly. All right. Now, instead of using a table, sometimes in the video you'll see, instead of putting a table around here, they just use lines and then times each. Same idea. We're using a table in this just because it's easier for us, but you can definitely draw it out. I encourage you to watch Tyler DeWitt. He's a really good science teacher, and he talks about this and the method there as your book does. I don't want to watch that now.
NetTutorGuy.com has videos covering everything.
All right, so here's an example. We're going to work with single conversion factors. Another example problem. All right, let's do one together here. So I take this number here, 53.4. All right, so I take this number here, and I'm going to 53.4 centimeters, and I want to convert that to meters. So I'm going to take the 53.4, highlight it yet. Centimeters, put over 1. Now the conversion factor is what goes here. That says 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Now this top and bottom, I need to choose which way to put it vertically. I'm going to choose to put the 100 centimeters on the bottom. Why am I doing that? Well, I'm doing it so that the label cancels. All right, now just to show the canceling, because I'm using this, I like to write them on paper, but here we're trying to do it on the Chromebooks. Here's the, I'm going to highlight this centimeter there, top there. Look, it's on the bottom here. Because that label is top and bottom, I can cancel it out. If I were doing it on paper, I'd just cross them out, but I can't do that here. So now, what do? I top times down divide. Times everything on top. It doesn't matter the order. And down divide by everything on the bottom. Now I could take 53.4 times 1 divided by 1 divided by 100 and I get the same answer. I'm going to skip the ones and I'm just going to take 53.4 divided by 100. Put that in my calculator. 53.4 down divide by 100. And that's going to give me 0.534. And look at the label. The only label I have left is meters. We've canceled out the centimeters. That's our answer. Let's try another one. All right. It says convert 623 grams to kilograms. Well, I'm going to put the measurement given, 623 grams, up here. If I want to put it over 1, that's fine. Now, here's where I put the conversion factor. Here's my conversion factor. 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. Now, I got a choice to make. I can flip-flop it one of two ways. I'm going to put the grams on the bottom because it's on the top here and I want it to cancel. So the number goes with it. There's 1,000 grams. Here's 1 kilogram. Now look what I can do. I can cancel the grams. So I'm just going to highlight them to show that I'm canceling the grams here. Now the grams cancel. The only label left is kilograms. And look, that's what's asked for in the problem, kilograms. So now I'm ready to top times down divide. I can skip the ones if I want. The only ones aren't ones. I've got 623. And then down divide by 1,000. So that's going to give me 0.623 kilograms. And there's my answer. Grams have canceled. All right, let's try one more. And 647 weeks. All right, that's the measurement given, and I need to get it to years. So let me write that here. 647. I'm just going to abbreviate week, WK, just so I don't have to type it every time. Now I'm ready for my conversion factor. Here it is. 1 year equals that many weeks. Now here, I can put that top and bottom. Got to flip-flop it the right way. I choose to cancel the unwanted label. So I want to get rid of weeks. That means this 52.143 weeks goes on the bottom. Number goes with the label here. 52.143 weeks. Now on the top, I've got 1 year. I'm going to abbreviate that too. Look at it. Top and bottom, I've got week, same unit. I'm going to cancel that out. Just to show the canceling, I'm going to highlight it in a color here, the same color, so I can see that. That cancels out. The only label left is year. That tells me I'm ready to top times down divide. Top times down divide. Look at the ones. I don't need to use those. I'm going to take 647 down divide by 52.143. I put that into my handheld calculator here, and I got 12.4. 0.4, and the label there is going to be years. That's the only label left. All right, there's a series of problems like this. Go down in the Google Doc format. Go ahead and do that. If you're having trouble, make sure you highlight the canceled labels. If you look up here, there's a little pencil, and so you select, and then you can use whatever color you want to cancel it out in the Google Doc. You'll need a handheld calculator to do the calculations, and then just turn that in when you finish. I will also include the answer key. So the answer key you certainly can refer to as you practice doing this. All right, great.